Well, Al Haymon has definitely put the boxing game in the figure four leg lock. Either you gonna eat with them or you ain't gonna eat at all. Your meal's gonna get real small. And it's gonna show in the long run. Because when you're not making what you was making the previous year, a lot of people are losing money. So either you gonna play ball or get out of town. Because Al Haymon is changing the game. And what you thought was insignificant or wasn't as important is proven out and panning out to be very important. So now people are learning the game and realizing what they could have done. Like, wow, this was the opportunities out there. But they didn't have the connections Al Haymon had. And rather saying, I want to work with Al Haymon and let's try to make this work, and everybody's ego got him in the picture, in the mix. And when everybody's egos are involved, this is what happens. Too much pride. And it's not to say Al Haymon's winning all this lawsuit and stuff like that. It's just what PBC is doing. For all the people who are talking about PBC's a failure, PBC, y'all don't understand the rating system. PBC is not a failure. If it was a failure, other networks, you think they're stupid? The other networks? Other networks are not going to say, come on, let's sign me up for PBC if PBC is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Nobody says, please bring it to my website. I mean, my network. Can you please bring that failing boxing thing to my network? Because it's failing so bad, I need to have it. It don't make sense. But of course, when the other side owns the publications of the press and the media, they call their friends up to write false reports about PBC. And write, oh, these fights are a joke. You know, anything to try to make the public sway them away from going to see it and come watching some of the garbage fights they put out. But actuality, it's forced the other side to put up some good matches. It's just that when the other side is putting out other matches, they want to go against the PBC, don't want their fighters on PBC, and want to challenge anything Al Haymon does, fighters or whatever, and just have their own little boxing world that coexists with Al Haymon's PBC and the fighters he represents. So it hurts the sport because we can't see the best fight the best, and then you're going to have failed attempts by like the WBC and all the other ranking systems that want to put the major fights together between the two sides, but it's not going to happen. Because negotiations on who's going to be the big fish and this and that is going to take place, and there you have it. So they're hoping with Gennady Golovkin and Canelo and all those things over there, Golden Boy can rebuild itself back into a machine that can make some money. Because right now they're in the point where they're the B side. Matter of fact, they like the C side. And they're just working and just making opponents defeat to Al Haymon. I mean, not to Al Haymon, but to Bob Arum and all the other small promoters over there. And I mean, wish them nothing but the best. No hate on Golden Boy in this video. This is just to point out a few things. When all these lawsuits is flying around and people are adjusting things, the law firm who they named in the lawsuit, they once, of course, had to retract from using their names because, one, that wasn't right or legal to do. You tried to bring a law firm into something that they had no parts of. Only thing they did was facilitate what was in the contract. They weren't even in there for strategic planning or anything else. They have no part of that. So that $300 lawsuit was going to get thrown out, or whatever, $100 million, whatever it was. It's an antitrust lawsuit saying that Al Haymon and his investors violated the antitrust rule. And now they want them to amend it to try to restructure it. They have to October the 30th, so they got 10 days to get this thing done. And they plan to refile its original lawsuit against Haymon. And now they just cannot mention Wallow and Reed Financial Incorporated. They can't. Media Group Holdings is not going to be responsible as collective defendants. So the price will be drawn down dramatically, and then they would have to show proof of what's going on, because the PBC has enough money in its chest to keep moving forward. And then you have all these other networks that then signed up, from Fox to I don't know how many they got, NBC, CBS, ESPN, Bounce TV, Spike TV, and it's just growing. So people are afraid. And when you're afraid of something, you do what you do. You're back against the wall, you fight, because you feel like your money coming up short. So, of course, they're going to kick up some dust, say, hey, man, this is a monopoly, and this and this. And that's why people don't understand. This is why the lawsuits are flying around, to try and stop Al Haymon. That's what it's about. It's not about we need the money. They want a judge to get in here and say, can you please, somebody got to do something to stop Al Haymon. We don't want to have to answer to him. We don't want to have to work with him. HBO don't want to work with him. But you know what, HBO? When your fights are turning out to be nothing, nobody's going to care anymore. You can't adjust anything. You have no more control. You got to just play ball. Guess who you're going to have to come to? Al Haymon. When you want to put on a championship fight and you don't have a champion on your network, guess who you're going to have to turn to? Al Haymon. The man you don't want to do business with, but you're going to have to. Why? Because the public are going to know his fighters. And we can go back and forth. HBO going to be digging up Shane Mosley again. We got Sugar Shane Mosley. Better than ever. And he might just be fighting Manny Pacquiao or Miguel Cotto again. We're going to have Mosley Cotto too. It don't surprise me. This is HBO. This is a network that put themselves in to sponsor a movie with two 70-year-old people fighting each other. I'm like, they were right there. Nobody said anything about age. They did Rocky. They did this movie, The Grudge match, with Robert De Niro and Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone couldn't even see out of one eye. He got approved. And he's right in there fighting at 70. HBO was right there to call it. So they got no problem with anything, long as it's a name. Bernard Hopkins. They'll kill Hopkins. Throw him in there. And Hopkins so stupid, but what else he gonna do? I gotta stop bashing Hopkins. People like, man, Bernard's a nice guy. He cool and all that. And I'm friends with a lot of people that love Bernard. Like, that's their brother. They side by side with Bernard. Like, man, you gotta stop bashing Bernard. I'm like, maybe. I'll be feeling like that sometimes. And then he goes and does what Bernard does. He make you feel like you made the right decision. So when you see Bernard Hopkins, okay, great, I made the right decision. This guy's an asshole, and I did the right thing. He's phony. That's how I feel about Bernard. So I hope throughout this rant, that's really not a rant, but you can understand where I'm coming from. Um, you will see that the winds of change has already blown in a new direction, meaning that Haymon's plan is going better than what they anticipated. They've already got more networks to play ball than they actually ever thought they would have at this point in time. Remember, they started on March the 7th. We just in October. And when they started off, it was only like 2 or 3 networks. Now everybody wants a piece. Pretty soon, ABC is going to come along and be like, hey, we got spots open. Let's get involved with this PBC thing. Now, Top Rank has True TV. And the deal they got there is pretty much open for the spot that they have. It's just that their problem is promotion. They don't know how to promote. So they lose. And we'll see what's going to happen with the Oscar De La Hoya lawsuit that's pending too. But look for the same result to happen. Golden Boy would probably have to amend everything that they're suing for, and can't mention any of the investors that are in this project. So all the holdings and the companies that really run the PBC, the judge is going to throw that right out of court. So we'll see how these other lawsuits go with Al Haymon and Golden Boy Promotions. You know, Aaron's going to try to use every company, every little thing he knows to try to hurt or get something back from Al Haymon, who's a very, very intelligent man himself. I'm quite sure he has all his ducks in a row. I'm out.